We're here, boys. Again, we're back for another Watch and Score live stream. Welcome back, everyone. I can see Beagle's already in the chat. Boz is in the chat as well from the get-go. Thanks for being here already. Hopefully, we're going to get some more people stopping by and joining in. It's always fun when we get plenty of people scoring the action along with us. We're going to get onto our fight very soon, which is an interesting one, a pretty recent and modern one in comparison to some of the fights that we do cover on this channel, but an interesting one still nonetheless. And before we do get onto that, let's have a look at some of the stuff that's happened recently, and get the verdicts and thoughts and opinions of my two co-hosts who are here as ever. Josh, welcome back. How are you doing, mate?
All is good, been working some Golden Gloves here in the DC area. A lot of boxing going on, but always down to watch some boxing as well. So happy to be here. Good to see you guys.
Good, man. And Alex Vega is on board as well. How are you doing, Alex?
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. Glad to be here. Had some great boxing and interesting fight we're going to score for sure.
Yeah, should be good, man. Okay, let's make a start, and I'm going to try and make this pretty brief because I know I've got quite a lot to cover after the fight. So what we will do is we'll just stick to the happenings of this weekend. I know, Josh, you said you didn't quite catch everything because you just mentioned you was at the Golden Gloves stuff going on. Alex, hopeful that you're going to give us the lowdown of everything that went on last night. Where shall we start? Let's start in New York. Luis Alberto Lopez beat Raya Abe. Is that how you pronounce the name? I can't remember.
Abe, the Japanese contender.
I believe he was pretty dominant in that one. I thought that this could potentially have been a pretty tough fight for him and a close fight. So yeah, Alex, hopefully you saw this or you've caught some highlights at least. What did you make of it?
Yeah, definitely watched it. Was quite surprised that Luis Alberto Lopez from the beginning was the hunter. He let it. He showed that he wanted to get this guy out of there, and that ends up being the end result. I'm not sure the pronunciation, but the Japanese contender, I believe it's Raya Abe. Couldn't handle the pressure, couldn't handle the punches. I think about second round, something landed and his right eye started closing. They looked at him almost every round after that, in between, beginning of the round. Definitely like Lopez was going to get early stoppage. Credit to Abe. I think after the fourth or fifth round, seemed to, have a second wind. Had a great round, in the middle of that fight where, it's like he couldn't miss Luis Alberto Lopez. But Lopez, the champion, showed he has the heart of a champion, the will of a champion. Even the quote, I believe, is that he gave was, he was doing this for his family, for his kids, for his team. And he showed that. He beats down Abe, forces the stoppage, and, we're looking for unifications. We'll see exactly what's in store. There's Espinosa. Oh my gosh, the other champions are letting my mind. But definitely Luis Alberto Lopez keeps in position to get himself a big fight. Fun style. Looks like there's a lot of opportunities, but we're going to see who's tough enough to go ahead and stand there and, go ahead and give Lopez the tough fight that we just haven't really been seeing the last few times out there. He's been pretty much dominating or, winning most of every round he's been in there. So, yeah, Lopez, he's ready for the challenge, and us as fans, we're ready to see it.
Yeah, just looking there briefly at the champions, there's Ray Vargas, WBC. Right. Rafael Espinosa, WBO. And there's Brendan Figueroa, who's an interim for WBC. And then lots of vacant stuff. But yeah, I caught a couple of the highlights, and that style line is so weird and different, isn't it? He throws shots from all kinds of angles and runs in while throwing and jumps and does all sorts of weird shit. but always interesting to watch. Josh, have you seen any highlight clips of this one, or just some general thoughts from you?
No,
from
I
Lopez?
haven't. But I was picking Lopez coming into the contest. I like what he does in the ring, and as Alex mentioned, Espinoza. That sounds like a pretty intriguing fight right there. I think that could make for some pretty solid action, especially if those two face off. Even Ray Vargas. Ray Vargas, he brings it when he's on his game as well. So I look forward to what's next for him. But I do think that Lopez is in stride right now. He's looked good.
Yep. Just while you was talking there, I was looking just down the box rec listings for that division. There's also Lee Wood in that division. Raymond Ford as well, you saw last night. He's now right up there. Ramirez, BC Ramirez, he's just had a loss, hasn't he? Nick Ball, he's got a fight coming up next week. So there's lots of good names there, to be fair. Lots of good fights to be made. Was there anything else on that event, Alex, that was worth noting? Raymond Ford, he was on the undercard. I believe this was a fantastic fight, and I think he won in the dying seconds. He would have lost otherwise on the scores. Give us your verdict, and I believe it was a great fight to watch. We should all try and catch it if we can.
Definitely a strong fight of the year candidate. We always hear that after a fight, but truly, this fight here had a lot of different flows. Otebek, I finally watched him like right before the fight, and I seen dude's got some thunder in his hands. Pretty good feet. Technically strange in his own way. It seems to just work for him. He's a little bit wide, but man, he throws in combination, and we saw that in this fight. Just seemed to be, Ford seemed to have a little issue with the power, with reading where the punches were coming from at times. So Otebek, first quarter of that fight was definitely in control. Raymond Ford makes an adjustment, starts walking Otebek down. Otebek, we start seeing him on his back foot. Most of the time, Raymond Ford seemed to be controlling the distance, but Kolmatov, man, great pace. Was throwing, punches and bunches, good body work. And you see though, Ford, he was losing the battle, but seemed to be winning the war. And we see as the fight progressed, a battle. I mean, I had it going into the 12th round. I had it a bit wide. I'm not gonna lie. I had Otebek up 8-3, but nonetheless, still saw it as a competitive fight. And he's up 106, 103 on two scorecards, down on the other. Otebek seems that if he just finishes the fight, he's the victor. We get down to those last 20, 30 seconds. He gets hurt, falls to the floor. Referee, decides to call it a slip, which I disagree. Gets up, gets clipped again, runs away, gives his back up to Raymond Ford. Raymond Ford lands a hard shot. Referee decides with 7-10 seconds left, no more, fight's over, and the new Raymond Ford is our champion. Great fight, man. People are a little, they believe a little bit of controversy when it comes to it. I believe it was the right decision. One punch can change everything. He was obviously hurt. Raymond Ford lands a super clean punch. Like I said, back given to the ref, to the opponent. One thing, and we've seen too many deaths, too many harsh injuries. But I get it, man. People, they want to see, they wanted Otebek to win because they probably bet on him or picked him. I ended up picking Otebek. I'm not upset because you just can't do that. Shout out to Raymond Ford. Goes on to enemy territory. He's a matchroom fighter. Goes on top rank. Otebek just signed the top rank. Like I said, down on two of the scorecards. He knew he needed that. He knew this was probably, his last fight. Actually, he said, this is it. I'm one and done with this world championship at 126. Gonna move to 130. Raymond Ford, I just believe deserves a lot of praise for that performance. To do what he did, how he did it, undefeated opponent. People fight hard for those O's. Raymond Ford keeps his and takes one for a world championship. Raymond Ford, man, can't wait to see your next fight.
Yeah, fine, fair comments. I did see the stoppage, and it is one of them. Like you say, I think the fact that Kalmatov was literally running away, wasn't he? I think if he were just kind of backing up while still facing and hands up, maybe he would have seen the bell. But I think most people, from what I saw on the reactions on social media, I think most people thought that the stoppage was absolutely fine. So yeah, it sounds like a great fight, one that we're going to have to catch at some point in future. Josh, I don't think you've seen this one. Maybe you've seen just some highlights at the ending and whatnot. But have you got any other thoughts, maybe on Raymond Ford going forward?
Yes, I caught the highlights, and I give Raymond Ford props. What a way to close it out! And I agree that Obatek Kovatov, or whatever his name is, he definitely looked as though he was done. And I think the stoppage, regardless of what some may think, I think it was warranted, just given his posture and defensive nature there, with his back turned almost in some sense. So the referee had to do what he had to do, make the right call right then and there. Raymond Ford, hey, he is one of these guys that has some backing. He's had moments where he's looked good. He's had some, or at least for sure, a controversial fight when he fought Edward Vasquez. And I said back then that I felt that was a contest that should have gone Vasquez's way. And Ford, he's continued to get better, I guess you can say, from an overall standpoint. And he was losing this fight. I actually picked Komatov coming into the fight myself, and he figured out a way to get it done. So what more can you ask for? He's a champion now. The battle was written on his face. You can certainly see that in the aftermath of the contest. So I give him props. It'll be interesting to see how he does here moving forward. So if he continues to improve, then hey, the sky's the limit. But I'm going to go back and check the fight out in its entirety. But from what I saw, yeah, definitely some pretty solid action there.
Yeah. Okay. Also on the undercard, there was a no contest in the Brian Norman Jr. and Boca Chica fight. I believe Norman was down, and then there was a cut that stopped the fight. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, I believe Boca Chica got cut with a headbutt, I think round 2.
Okay.
No, round one he got cut,
Yeah.
and then he goes. I was like, oh man, Boca Chica, I think he might fold. Well, he said, no, I'm gonna fold Brian Norman, put him down with a beautiful right hand. Man, but I got to give Brian Norman credit. He's been I think he's been unimpressive to what people were believing he was going to show to be once he was put on Top Rank last few showings. But he showed that he has a want to be a fighter, I guess you can say. Someone that a lot of times you see these young dudes, they get clipped and they have a little bit of a coming to Jesus moment. Well, if you want to say this was his coming to Jesus moment, he showed that he's got grit, he's got heart, and he fought back. He ends up getting cut as well by an elbow from Boca Chica. And then I believe in the third round, there's another clash of heads. Boca Chica starts leaking like crazy from the top of the head. I mean, that blood was insane. Okay. Boca Chica then, before the fourth round, I believe, before the fourth or fifth round, says, he's feeling a little bit weak. Corner decides, hey, let's stop this fight. Live to see another day. It was interesting to see how that fight might have unfolded. Boca Chica, pretty decent fighter. Brian Norman, like I said, this prospect. Man, unfortunate to happen. I'm not sure people want to see a rematch because the fight was a bit ugly. But man, we'll see exactly where these two fighters go from here. Because like I said, Brian Norman has a bit of buzz. I think Boca Chica has shown he has some quality as well.
Right, okay. I'm just looking down this list. I remember now when we covered it last time. It was quite a stacked card with up-and-coming fighters, wasn't it? So we had Polanco that got a win over Tariq Zayna, Floyd Diaz with wins over Edwin Rodriguez, and Troy Isley got a stoppage win as well over Hernandez. Alex, just want to run through them and pick out what happened.
Yeah, no, Rohan Polanco, has a style that once he's in that ring, he's going to commit to. Zaina was actually a pretty decent opponent. Seen him on Pro Box. He fought Marcelino Lopez. Got a bit of an upset victory, I believe. So yeah, man, Rohan drops him twice. That fight is 10 more seconds. He gets a stoppage. Yeah, Floyd Diaz started first fight with Bomac. He definitely is a guy. He's been around. Josh has mentioned he's been on Floyd Mayweather's documentaries when it comes to I think it was the 24/7 on HBO. Definitely guy has obvious skills, but they were talking about his commitment, not showing up to the gym all the time. And I think I'm not sure where he's going to go from here, but a guy definitely has well educated, just had to be committed. Troy Isley, let me say, beautiful performance. I don't think anyone's ever questioned his boxing ability, his boxing skills. You see it every time, man. He puts punches together well. He knows what he's doing. He's a true professional in there, always efficient, always there in the gym, and it shows. It was just the lack of power. What's going to happen when he can't get someone out of there, and the guy walks through his punches to land? Well, he put people on notice. Stops a guy that's only been stopped by punchers. Marcos Hernandez has been stopped by Jason Rosario. We know him. He stopped J Rock. And also, Anthony Durrell won at 168 pounds. Anthony Durrell one hitter quitted him in a beautiful knockout some years ago. So Troy Isley put himself in that realm, I guess, of punchers. And yeah, Troy Isley, would love to see what they do with him next. Former Olympian guy from the DC area, I believe. Shout out to them over there. Shout out Josh. And yeah, want to see him move to 10 rounders and see what they do for him because guy's definitely skilled.
All right, cool. We'll wrap that one up there, I think, and we'll move swiftly on. We'll mention it. There was another card on the Zone last night. It was Alex's favourite, Jake Paul. And I don't know really what happened about. I guess it was the main event or co-main event with Amanda Serrano. Ended up pulling out last minute, I believe.
Yeah.
What was that about? Alex, again, I guess you have the best idea if you've covered these.
Yeah, so what happened was she had some hair product in her hair, went for a run, I think, on Thursday. It sweat, the sweat with the hair product went into her eye, caused an issue to her eyeball, her cornea. They went try to do eye drops to go ahead and have the eye not be so infected and enough to she'll get approved. They try to hold out to the last minute to see if it was possible, but the Puerto Rican Boxing Commission decided that wasn't that's not going to be in the plans tonight. So that was why it took all the way to the Jake Paul fight to occur before they finally announced it. Yeah, gutted for Puerto Rico, gutted for Amanda Serrano. One of the, she's going to go down as one of the greatest women fighters of all time and, go in the history books for what she's done. She deserved this opportunity. I mean, I talked about the card before. I mean, the card was shit. I actually got a pretty decent fight, though, with Jonathan Gonzalez versus Renee Santiago.
Okay.
That was a competitive fight. Other than that, I mean, if you watch Christopher Diaz versus, I forgot the dude's name. It was like a Rasta guy. Yeah, man. I mean, that was a sham of a fight. Obviously, Jake Paul with his opponent knocking him out first round.
Yeah.
That was complete bullshit. Thankfully, it comes with your DAZN subscription. It's not really doing you any favors if you ask me. Jake Paul, he's obviously not pulling the same the same attention as he was before due to he's not that entertaining of a fighter. It's more of him as a character. And when he does outside the ring. And, I mean, it is what it is. I like the attention he brings. However, this card has to be seen as a failure. I don't think it did anything to uplift boxing. But hopefully, I think it did show one thing is that boxing can be a good show in Puerto Rico. A lot of Xander Zayas was there, Sabrina Matias. They show that they have the Puerto Rican fighters, Crystal Rosado, who sounded Serrano, before, as forementioned, Bumbo Gonzalez. Yeah, man. I'm glad to see that, but like I said, I don't think this does anything when it comes to helping boxing grow especially when you have Jake Paul versus some guy knocked out in the first round. We don't care. Fights. He's fighting real boxers, is what people asked him to do. So good for him. So let's see what the plan is. I guess he's going to keep getting opportunities. And what I've been learning from people, this is a bit of sarcasm, is you just whatever's given to you, you have to take. If they say this is the fight, that's what it is. Like
Make the most of it.
Canelo versus Berlanga, it's going to be a movie. And that's what people keep saying. It's a great fight because it's going to be a movie. He's the number one ranked in the sanctioning body. So yeah, Jake Paul can go ahead and fight some guy off the street and take it for what it is. It's better than nothing. It's broadcasted. Yeah, man. Shout out to MVP Promotion. So
okay. Before we finish up on this wrap up, Josh, do you want to add anything on this event? Any thoughts, opinions? Go ahead, mate.
Well, Jake Paul versus Jay Opataya coming soon. That's all I have to say.
Okay, that'd be nice. Well, I mean, you did say last time, actually, Josh. Oh, at least he's fighting a real boxer. This one. Anyway, it is what it is. A quick shout out to the Jack Artist who's also stopped by. He's taking part in the chat. Thank you for being here. And everyone else that is currently tuning in. Hopefully you have seen and read the instructions on the screen, and there's some instructions on the video description as well that lets you know how to take part in our watch along. As we score the fight, you score the fight at the same time. If you're part of our scoring group, which is again in the instructions there, your scorecard will appear on the screen alongside ours, and we can see how yours compare to ours, and then inevitably how ours compare to the official scores when we get there. I think we will actually just move straight on to our watch along, because I'm not too sure that there's anything else worth chatting about that's happened recently, unless there's any just random news and shit that's been going on recently that you boys want to talk about. Should we just get on to Alex? You're muted, my friend.
You're
You're
muted there, Alex. We can't hear you.
Oh, I didn't even realize I pressed that. Sorry. But absolutely, do I have some things to say? I kind of alluded to it a bit earlier. And this whole Canelo saga, I am just fucking sick of it. Canelo Alvarez, one of the greatest fighters we've seen, in the past 15 years, right? Let's say. What is it, 2024? He's been on the scene since 2008. So yeah, we'll give him that 15 to 20 years. I mean, the man that's given us, fights that the business didn't want him to do. The Austin Trout fight, the business didn't want him to do that. When he fought Erislandy Lara, the business didn't want that. And he took those fights and he was able to squeak out victories. And that's okay, man. It's okay to have close victories. But the point is, he took that fight. He said, no, I'm taking it. And that's exactly what he did. And that's what helped make him such one of the best fighters we've seen of recent time. The Gennady Golovkin fights, to get there was a bit of a saga, but we got it. Gennady Golovkin was still seen as one. Some people had him pound for pound number one. Definitely seen as one of the 5 best fighters in the world. He fought him back to back. There was a bit of a hiccup in between. Let's not act like it didn't happen with the whole drug test. But it's a growing theme. Like I said, just you have to take it. It's okay. Hey, it's part of it. So we get that. We get 2 really great fights, probably 2 of the best middleweight fights we've seen in such a long, long time. Oh man. But since then, they said fight champions, right? Exactly what he did, right? Went to 168, undisputed it. Fought champion. Callum Smith gets a mandatory, which mandatories are good, right? Avni Yildirim fights Billy Joe after that. 3 fights in 5 months or something like that. Something nuts. Wow. Then he undisputes it with Caleb Plant. I think it was like 4 fights in 10, 11 months. Something crazy. We don't see that. Something else he gave us that we just don't see with these top fighters. Man, Canelo Alvarez was already a Hall of Famer after doing that. Since then, we get the Bivol fight. A fight people didn't want, but tough fight. Loses. All right. Triple G3. What the fuck? Like, who the hell wanted to see that? You could say, well, the numbers show. Well, we're boxing fans. We knew what it was. Like, that wasn't surprising what we saw. Actually, you know what? It was surprising. I thought he was going to stop Gennady. He didn't. Shout out Gennady Golovkin. Then we get another mandatory. John Ryder. Oh, it's a homecoming, Mexico. Cool. All right, great. It makes sense. A guy, low cost. It's a mandatory. Hey guys, a guy that's been tough. At 168. You could say we saw it, right? Him against Colin Smith, John Ryder should have won that fight according to us. It was quite clear. So, all right, then Jermell Charlo. What the hell? Oh, okay. They said this guy's been calling him out for years. He's undisputed as well. He's taller than him, like we haven't seen Gennady Golovkin. I'm sorry, Canelo Alvarez fighting guys taller than him for years. Oh yeah, man, he might give him some issues. Fucking, what was that shit? Like 11-1 with a knockdown, 10-2 with a knockdown. Not surprising. So now we get to it finally. We've been calling for it. Sorry, I'm going a little bit long on this, but man, we want David Benavidez. He's a mandatory. He's a former champion. He's undefeated. We just named all these guys that were undefeated, current champs, former challengers, mandatories. He clears everything that he said he's been fighting, why he's been fighting them. Oh, and then and during all this, he says these guys need to fight each other. What does David Benavidez do? Fights Caleb Plant, common opponent, right? Beats the dog shit out of him. Caleb Plant, tough and better, the guy with real skill. But man, David Benavidez was really putting a whooping on him, especially towards the end of that fight. Then he fights Demetrius Andrade, undefeated, 2-weight champion, right? A guy that, like Jermell Charlo, was chasing, right? Quote unquote chasing Canelo Alvarez. David Benavidez takes him on, stops him, makes the man say he doesn't want any more on the stool. So why are we not getting this fight? Because Canelo Alvarez doesn't fucking want it. Point blank, period. Now it's about the business of boxing. It's not the best for business. I'm sick of it, man. Why do we support this kind of stuff? Why is it that it's just okay? And then now he's gonna fight Edgar Berlanga, possibly. Come on, guys. We gotta stop. This has to stop. It's just not right. So Edgar Berlanga didn't do anything David Benavidez did. Has never beaten a former champion. Never been champion, obviously, himself. And he's got his first knockout in 3-4 years. Guys, please stop supporting this stuff. Canelo Alvarez, yes, great fighter, absolutely, but we want to see the fights, the best fights. How is him fighting Jaime Munguia and then Edgar Berlanga the fights you want to see because of Edgar Berlanga's chain? Oh man.
That's a travesty. It's certainly a travesty that this Benavidez Canelo fight, which I viewed as the best fight in boxing, didn't happen. And it's going to be one of those that goes down in the annals of history. Outside of that, I'll just add that I've been entertained by this Gen Z promo of Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. I want to see more.
Okay. Well, thanks for that, Alex. That was impassioned. As usual, we get some kind of rant from Alex on a stream, and that was beautiful. Thank you. I've always been a defender of Canelo. You kind of put it perfectly just then, Alex. He fought like everyone basically for years and years, but now it's getting towards possibly his toughest fight yet, and he doesn't really want it. Maybe is it something that might still happen further down the line? Or has it been totally ruled out? I don't know. I could give him the benefit of the doubt when he was fighting 2 or 3 or 4 times a year, and one of it or two of them might not have been the best fights. But yeah, that's a good take, Alex. We'll chop that up and put it out there as well for people to get hot about. All right, let's get to it. I just did want to point out actually that Boz had a prediction about Jay Apatea against Jake Paul that would ended a KO in 30 seconds. And another name in the chat, Adrian, thank you for stopping by. And make sure if you're enjoying yourselves, you hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get on to our scoring. We just hit 30-minute mark. I've also just actually had a notification on my phone that we just hit 100,000 views on our YouTube channel. So that's a bit of a milestone, which is very nice.
Congrats.
So let's keep that going, and hopefully we'll hit 200,000 in no time. Alex, do you want to do an introduction for us on this fight that should be quite exciting for us?
Exciting to score for sure. Real highly controversial. So let's get to it. Absolutely. We have Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall I. So let's start off with the challenger. Jack El Gato Catterall, the cat. 28 years old, 5'7", 69-inch reach from Shorley, Lancaster. I'm sorry.
Lancashire.
Lancaster. Ooh, okay. Lancaster. All right. Interesting. WBO super lightweight mandatory challenger, 26-0 with 13 stoppages. To the champion, Josh the Tartan Tornado Taylor, 31 years old, 5'10", 69.5-inch reach from Edinburgh, right? Edinburgh, Scotland, United Kingdom. Don't tell me I got that wrong.
Come on, Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. You got two different Englishes, man. Shout out to the King's English. Current IBF, WBA, WBC, WBO, and the ring super lightweight champion of the world. That makes him undisputed. 19-0, 13 stoppages.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Alex. We can forgive you for the mispronunciations. It's a common feature on this show. Don't worry about it. Okay, everyone. Hopefully you're all set and on board. You've been following the instructions that have been on the screen for almost 30 minutes, and there's loads of instructions in the video description. So let's just get onto it. I've got my scorecard ready. I'm using my mobile phone. It's quite a good system to use on the mobile phone, but you can also use it on your computer or tablet as well. Let's get to it. I think we should be straight into the action. And also I need to keep an eye out for any notices.
This fight is in the SSE Hydro, Glasgow, Scotland, United Kingdom. I didn't mispronounce Glasgow, did I?
Nah, spot on, mate. Spot on.
That's the go-to spot. Hey, folks, I did drop the link in the chat. If you want to score, check us out.
Yeah, thank you, Josh.
Earlier, that is. I dropped it earlier.
Yeah, I might whack it in again, just for those that might not have seen it. I'll find it.
Boz, don't duck this shade, or don't duck this this controversy right here. Get in there and score, because I'm going to be all over you.
Wow, already you just blasted him with a left hand, huh? Look at that. 30 seconds in. See Catterall keeping staying on the phone with that backhand, ready to launch it forward.
This video might be a little bit choppy, but we get the gist of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Definitely see size difference between these two guys. Josh Taylor, the much taller fighter in there.
Yeah. The major test, at least first major test for Jack Catterall coming into it. Taylor, someone always says, battle tested. He got to his title and undisputed status the hard way. He had to fight guys, and he got it done.
Yeah, excuse me. Catterall kind of came up pretty, under the radar, I guess. He'd racked up quite his record kind of off TV for a while, and then just on the smaller shows, really. And obviously, Taylor was I think he was an Olympian, wasn't he?
2012 Olympian, for Great Britain, lightweight.
So he was kind of fast tracked with all of that in the spotlight. So yeah, this was kind of two guys coming up in totally different circumstances. And obviously Josh Taylor is a heavy favourite to win this.
Yeah.
Interesting. Josh Taylor throwing a lot of double jabs, and also, as you see, there's some rabbit punching, punching behind the head. But yeah, it just cannot seem to find the mark. He's missing, plentiful amount of punches. See the double jab, he lands one there.
Nice jab from Catterall, kind of maintaining range with it for sure.
You see both fighters keep that front hand down. All right, it's one in the books.
Right. Nice and quick.
Yeah, nothing major there, but interesting for sure.
Let us know if you're scoring in the chat. How you scored the round.
Man, he blasted his ass.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one real time, but that was nice.
But yeah, touching a bit of what you were speaking about, like the difference between the two, like you said, Josh Taylor had a long, amateur career. I think he was like a gold medalist at the Commonwealth Games, 2012 participant in the Olympic Games. Yeah, definitely, guy. Definitely, like you said, fast track. Catterall, been boxing since he was 10, but didn't really fully commit until he actually went to school. He did a couple years in college and public services. Not sure if he got a degree, but when he was about 22 years old and turned pro, that's when he kind of said, I'm fully committed and I want to make this my career.
I didn't actually know that. That's good. Good info.
Again, the jab working well for Catterall thus far. Taylor seems to be having problems with it.
Timeout.
And of course, Taylor, he doesn't mind getting a little bit scrappy in there.
So a warning in round 2. Let's see how many more he gets. That's the one thing about Josh Taylor. He is willing to do any and everything there in the ring. He's going to push down your head, hit you in the back of the head, do the rabbit punches, hit on the break. There you go.
Nice,
Jack Catterall
nice
was
jab.
on double jab.
Nice jab here.
Notice Jack Catterall is definitely moving to Josh Taylor's power hand. He seemed to be wanting to get away from Josh Taylor's lead hand. Just seemed to be missing.
Working out for him thus far.
It just seems like Taylor's having a lot of trouble finding his distance. That jab has just been completely off. Got a minute left here. You see Taylor definitely seems comfortable coming forward. Catterall has been inviting him, to go ahead and see if he can come through that front door, trying to land that backhand.
Yeah, I forgot how scrappy this fight was.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a fight where I think it's more interesting how you score it compared to the actual action. So really looking forward to see how people are interpreting this action.
It's a good point actually because dear me. A while back I was checking out the fight analysis for this because this is one of the fights that's got more scorecards on our system. So there's obviously there's quite a few to go at. And the score, I think at the time when I was looking at it, it was like pretty much even, and there's like 1 point difference maybe. Good success there for Taylor. I think I put a video out on it as well, actually. Just highlighting that while everyone claimed it was a robbery, our selection of people that scored the fight on our system, but it's so close.
Yeah, so far seems to be one of those where there's gonna probably be some cleaner work from Catterall throughout the fight, and then Taylor the more grittier work. So it's gonna come down to a bit of preference there for sure.
I think that flurry there that they just showed on the replay at the end was the main event of that round. Taylor.
Was it enough to win the round?
I think so. Everything else was so scrappy.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Oh, Alexa's talking.
Yeah, you see, man, every chance that Josh Taylor gets, once they're on the inside, Josh Taylor's going to be punching. So it's interesting how people interpret that like, oh, that's, people may say that's illegal, but if the ref is not saying it's illegal, what do you do as a judge? I wonder what they tell you about, that as a judge compared when you see a foul that's now called. Or it could be interpreted as a foul. Some may not, right?
Yeah.
So Jack gets his first warning, round 3.
Right, yeah, and kind of what you were alluding to, Alex, in terms of Josh Taylor doing any and everything, to get off a punch or whatever it takes. Yeah, he's one of those guys, not overly great in a single thing, but he just finds a way to win, and he had found a way to win just throughout his career in a short period of time as well, with a lot of success, even though there may have been situations where he wasn't the more talented fighter, or there was a more talented fighter on the other side. He just finds ways to win.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, this is the undisputed champion. This is the guy that, I mean, if we can go through his resume, probably in between rounds, but the dude's tested. He understands nice uppy. He understands what it takes. He knows what it is to go through the fire.
Oh, it's a nice shot. But I think at this point of his career, I think people were seeing him in the pound for pound lists and stuff, weren't they?
Oh yeah,
number 5 in the ring at this time.
Oh, okay. See, I always thought that was
on the groove,
a bit high, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at this time, we were putting a lot on being undisputed. The interpretation of undisputed was, that's something that is, should be glorified.
Yeah. Certainly. Taking us back to the days of the one belt.
You see Jack Catterall standing a little more flat-footed now. He's looking to exchange. He wants, he wants punches to be thrown. You could tell. You see, he's leading actually. Nice. The action definitely picked up that round.
Oh, certainly.
Did, but then equally it was hard to score as well.
Yeah, I gotta get that. But certainly you can see that Taylor wants to make this a physical affair, and success there in the round, I felt, drawing him in some sense.
Yeah, man. So Josh Taylor, like I was saying, very good wins on his road to undisputed. He had a domestic scrap with O'Hara Davies. I believe he stopped him in 7. Had a very good win over Victor Postal. He used that to go ahead. Oh, look at all those scores, huh?
They were the full scores. I'll just leave that.
Gets a win over Victor Postal, former world champion, still near the top of the weight class at that time, and goes on a crazy. I mean, I'm talking about a crazy streak. Oh, look at that 1-1-1. But yeah, 5 straight undefeated fighters. Goes to the Super Series. Beats Baranchik, beats Regis Prograis.
I thought that was very, very close. Yeah. Progress, right?
Definitely, if I could have went either way. Was it? I forgot who else he fought, but yeah, takes on.
Ramirez after that, I believe.
Yeah, well, Ramirez. I was getting to it. Fights Ramirez to undispute over here in Las Vegas, and this is his first title defense of that undisputed crown,
Yeah.
a homecoming.
Oh, you know what? That I didn't recall that this was the first title defense of the undisputed titles. Okay, interesting.
Good defense
now.
by Taylor on the inside there, making sure he's not getting hit. Here we go, warning to both. Round 4. So we've gotten a warning in round 2, a warning in round 3, and warning in round 4.
He's aiming for the record.
Yeah, see, this just seems Josh Taylor's having a lot of issues on the outside. Seems to be a little closer. He was having a lot better work, but from this outside, that jab does not seem to be landing. And look, they're slow dancing again.
It's a lot of
unsure of how clean that punch was.
Yeah, it's lots of bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, so you see there, he lands a body shot in an awkward position. So that's a landed punch. Ref says fight on.
Yeah, I don't know why
nice
Catterall complained about it.
Low.
Yeah, well, certainly not a lot of clean work coming from Taylor. Catterall, of course, he's taking a more economic approach to it, but Taylor's throwing, but yeah, not a lot of that is landing.
Well, that's some nice
combination. Not everything landed, but definitely a few shots was able to pierce through the guard.
Yeah.
And they're holding again. Definitely a tough day at the office for the ref today.
Certainly. I was just thinking that same thing there.
There's the lead hook. All righty.
That was round 4 already.
Round 4.
You see that replay of that combination. Bam, gets that one in. Oh, okay. On the belt line.
A little uppercut in there too that he cut off.
Mm-hmm. That's 4 down.
All right, let's do some comparisons. And as usual, I just need to set this shit up, don't I? So give us some filler, Alex. Hopefully you've got more facts and stats.
Yeah, Jack Catterall, we spoke about it. Definitely different path. Had tons of fights, but really 2 notable fights to date coming into this matchup. Also fought O'Hara Davies, won by unanimous decision, and also took Tyrone McKenna's an Irishman from Northern Ireland, a guy that we still have been seeing as of late. So yeah, definitely tested in his own way.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So there's the overall scores. We've got a 39-30. I think Buzz has got the even round there, hasn't he? I've got it 2 rounds apiece, 30 each, and both you two boys look to be seeing things the same way. Let's just check, because you might have scored different rounds. You know what?
Looks like Jim, you and Boz are pretty generous.
Maybe. Okay, no, it looks like you scored all the rounds the same. Fair enough. So rounds 1 and 2 to Catterall, you gave Taylor a 3rd round. I think that was the clearest round for him, wasn't it? And you just given Catterall that last round as well. Controlled the action of the cleaning the shots. Pretty close scores altogether. Very good. Let's continue.
Yeah. These contests where you have a lot of tying up, a lot of rough house tactics, holding, a mixture of some of everything, punches from all over. They always make for interesting scoring.
Okay, I just quickly clicked onto the combined scorecard. I won't quite look through this just yet, but we've actually got the judges' scores on this, so we can compare how that pans out at the end, how the fans scored it and the judges scored it. Cool. All right, let's continue.
The Catterall fan club, huh? Apparently, like whenever you have somebody winning, you're a fan of them. You know, I had Odebeck winning, and I was being called that. Yeah, Odebeck's my boy. Like I have like no feelings towards him.
You can't just be an objective observer.
Right. It is what it is. Well, look, someone got a little taste of their own medicine there.
All right. We'll look into the ref.
Man, that left hand, huh? I mean, when he steps forward with that left hand, he's landing it beautifully. Taylor just keeps, I guess keeps getting caught crouching and doesn't have the right defensive movement, you know, the reaction to get out of the way. See, look at that. I mean,
Nice.
man, he gets in that posture and Catterall lets it go every time.
Nice one too, as well. There.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Jack Catterall fan club, baby. Let's go.
Sometimes all you need are the basic shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't need all the looping stuff at points.
Catterall got to look it up now. I like how Taylor does that, right? He throws that jab, right? And so you lean down, puts that shit right on your neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. He likes to get in position to either throw that overhand left or the left uppercut. Josh Taylor, because of that lead hand, he controls you. He's like, all right, depending on where you are, I'm going to throw, which is very smart. You got to give him credit for that. Guy with only 19. This is his 20th professional fight.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm at part of the Josh Taylor fan club.
Yes, you are. Stop it.
Oh, there you go. Right there. Walk him down. There you go. Catterall started off so well, but you see Josh Taylor's just been, chipping this round. And it's those tactics. Those tactics make a difference. It wears on the opponent, especially if they're not used to it. It's Jack Catterall's only had 2 fights at a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Taylor knows all the little tricks. He wins the mauling battle each time.
All right, another round down. This is flying past, isn't it?
Yeah. You saw Jack, the Jack artist referred to it. He was able to knock down Jose Ramirez. Saying a break off the clinch. There was no timeout. They said breaks, bam, drops him. And Jose Ramirez is like, what the hell? It's like, hey, man, protect yourself at all times.
Yeah.
There was no stop. There was a stop in the action of break, not stop fighting.
Nice left to the chin there from Catterall.
Oh, man, that's a beautiful shot. And then, look, turns. Interesting because, those highlights, you're going to say it's a Catterall round, but I'm going to let the guy in the back. I gave that round to Taylor.
Interesting, for sure. Interesting.
I'm going to let the gato out the bag, right? Sorry. Couldn't resist.
But yeah, like he had pointed out earlier, it's going to be interesting when scoring because, that cleaner work is mentioned. Still sits with Catterall, but Taylor just picking away when he gets an opportunity there, especially on the inside.
Oh my god. Damn, ref. Come on, man. Help Catterall out.
He's throwing rabbit punch haymakers.
Yeah, man. Punching her in the back of the fuck. Not even in the kidneys, man. Straight on the fucking spine.
Oh, it's nicely timed.
So you just have to wonder how much or how long Catterall will be able to maintain that distance with Taylor continuing to body him and just kind of wear him down anytime he's on the inside. You think, does that kind of trigger something for Catterall? Does he start to lose it a bit? Interesting to think about. And yeah, Taylor's just one of those guys also who can make things frustrating. So from a composure standpoint, lesser fighters, they might take the bait.
Most definitely. I mean, like you said, all that holding, all that punching whenever he wants, just always finding an opportunity to just put a glove on you or just really some part of his arm. It's got to be frustrating. And it's just going on over and over and over again. Less than 30 seconds left. Interesting to see how this round is going to end up as Catterall, man, finally lands one of those beautiful left hands as he's been doing throughout the fight.
Not sure well you can hear the commentary, but they're seeing everything the Catterall's doing very well. You'll hear it at the end. I'm sure.
Yeah, another interesting round there, but clean work from Catterall in my eyes.
You definitely have to be, as a trainer. I'm sorry. Just that left hand. He's able to win these rounds with that left hand. And you see there, puts him in the headlock, as he should.
Yeah.
Look, see, he looks exactly to the ref. Like, all right, yep, you break it now.
Making them work.
Some stats, big stats. Catterall 46% success rate. Nice.
Interesting because the American stats were completely different. I remember. I got to try to find those images, but it was insane the difference.
Yeah. I never trust the punch stats whatsoever.
Right, yeah. People can't take them as the gospel. Remember that.
And it was funny because it wasn't like just how many were landed, it was how many were thrown by each fighter. Huge difference. Yeah, 7th round already. Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah,
there's another warning there.
Another warning.
Marcus McDonald. He always gets involved, Marcus McDonald. He's one of the good refs, to be fair.
I do like that he's letting them fight. He's saying, hey, stop, fight.
Yeah. And Catterall looks like he's gained loads of confidence now, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Not being pushed back as much.
You can see the urgency in Taylor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor's starting to tighten down a bit.
Yeah, man, he wants to land that left, but just can't seem to find the right window to land on Catterall. The cat, man, El gato.
Mhm.
Man, that's the biggest difference I believe in this fight. Josh Taylor just wasn't able to use his jab to land much else consistently, while Catterall was able to use that jab to land the left hand almost every round.
Mhm.
Ernest Johnson, hello. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Please hit the like button while you're here.
Salute to you, Ernest.
I think a lot of people had Catterall winning this film when it happened. Let's we're seeing if we can dispel any myths.
We'll see if there's going to be any controversy.
You see, Josh Taylor, like I said, man, that jab is it's off. He just can't figure out how to use it effectively. Catterall slipping it, like he wants to do that, right? He wants to get that arm under or over Jack Catterall's neck. This round, he's done a good job, Catterall, defensively to not allow that to happen until then. And here we go, man. Here goes the dirty fighting. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win this? The dirty fighting exchanges.
Refs letting them work it out there. Good.
Yeah, look, see there.
They were trying to muscle him there.
I mean, come on. Come on. Whoa. Why? Okay. Yeah. That was definitely Taylor initiating.
Interesting one to score here again.
It's a pretty tricky one, isn't it? Pretty tricky.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay. Get your scores in, folks.
Ooh,
Ernest, do you have a question for us? Fire away, my friend. Questions are welcome. Oh, Kelbrook with some opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know how to score that round, honestly.
Boom.
All right, Ernest question. Do you believe the European referees officiate differently than US boxing refs? Alex, take your pick.
I guess I never really put too much thought into it. I know there's different rules. You know, over there's more standing 8 counts. I mean, what else? I would say no. Besides just the different, like I said, like a rule like that, because that is a changer. You know, you'll see more points taken away due to a standing 8 count. But I think we've always seen stoppages we believe is bad or A-side refereeing. As some people may believe.
That's pretty consistent wherever you are, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, never really put much. Oh, dropped his ass.
Knockdown.
Catterall definitely came out with some urgency and earned that knockdown.
Well, we know, Josh Taylor, you're in the hole now for sure.
Josh, you do some refereeing. What do you think on that question? Do you reckon there's any differences?
Well, I think generally from a rule standpoint and how they operate in there, you're not going to see a ton of differences just as it relates to such. Now, I think what it comes down to, if you're factoring in the geographics, is just maybe certain areas are used to a certain type of fighter, maybe even fighting style in some sense. But generally, you see that, just kind of across the board, because you get a mixture of that even here in the U.S. when you go from state to state in some regards, as far as some of the different styles and things you may see. A Philly fighter, versus someone from some other state, they're maybe in the Midwest or something that isn't as prevalent. But yeah, I think they're generally on par from an overall standpoint. But like Alex kind of alluded to, yeah, I think it comes down to when you see it at that top level, things are you just never know what can happen as far as when the hometown gets involved. You're from a particular jurisdiction. You have the A side fighter and all that stuff. I just never know what could happen.
Yeah, I've seen potentially like maybe people say that maybe British, specifically British or European referees might have a tendency to stop fights a little bit earlier than maybe US referees do, but I'm not too sure if that's a thing.
I think it. Yeah, I was going to add. I think you don't probably see as much on a fight to fight basis, but certainly you could probably have a bit of that where maybe there's seemingly some difference if you have American fighter coming over to Britain in a title fight looking to dethrone the champion, or vice versa. British fighter coming over here to the US looking to dethrone the champion. Then certain factors may weigh in a bit more.
Says, and it's just come back there. I feel like refs in Europe are likely to stop a fight prior to a fighter hitting the ground. Punches behind the head occur frequently, not allowing a fighter on the inside. Yeah, maybe. I think I'd say specifically British referees are more likely to like give more warnings. Like we're seeing here in this fight, I think American referees let things go a little bit more. Alex, you are muted again.
And then they had the random point taken, with the American refs.
Was that just round 8 that we just finished?
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Apologies, the question threw me. So is it not down there? So that has to be. Yeah, thank you for the question. Keep questions coming if you like. That's good.
Good stuff there on this. But yeah, knocked down in that round. I'm sure that has implications on this scoring we have right here.
Well, it has to. Let me just reload this. All right, we're seeing scores weighing in heavily onto Catterall's side across the board. Let's have a look. Are you two both this? No. You two are totally different now. Well, not really totally different, but
We're round difference.
Let's have a look
Maybe
at
a round or two.
We'll look at me and you, Alex. So, Alex, you're on the left, I'm on the right hand side. First round, you did a great job, my friend. You scored it exactly correct because that's why I scored it as well. In round 2, we had a difference of opinion. That's fine. Oh yeah, I remember that one. There was a nice little combination that Catterall threw that I thought was good enough to win the round. And round 3, we both gave to Taylor. Another one exactly the same, Alex. We are on point. Round 4, exactly the same. And then with difference of opinion again in round 5. That's fine. 2 exactly the same and 2 different ones. Both got Catterall for round 6. Both got Taylor for round 7. No, we've not. I've given an even round. Spoiler alert. And that last round, we have to give it the same. 10-8 because of the knockdown. So yeah, both got it in favour of Catterall. You've got it 77-74. I got it 78-74 because of that even round. So similar scores, but in roundabout ways. So I guess that's highlighting that this fight can be scored in many different ways, I guess.
Dum.
Yeah. Seems like we're gonna need a pretty solid closing from Josh Taylor. Seems that way. We'll see though.
Man, did he sneak that left hand in? Catterall?
Yeah.
I gotta say, his trigger is magnificent. You know, I mean, the way he commits, to that left hand, gets the leverage, and I mean, it's a nice flow to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just good timing, isn't it? He sees it and it executes. This song's fucking well loud. What's going on? It's just drowning out everything.
Catterall. Yeah, Catterall, it seems Catterall didn't like something there. I'm sure the holding had something to do with it.
Looks like Boz is keeping an eye on my scoring. Under scrutiny.
He got his pen and paper out.
Yeah.
Like grading papers. All right. A warning to Josh Taylor for using his shoulder. Round 9.
Oh, Josh.
Yeah, I know these last few rounds. I remember they get quite interesting with the refereeing and the fighting. Oh, Josh Taylor showing head movement. Another beautiful headlock. Oh wait, this is an MMA. My bad.
Yeah, don't be scoring points for this. Yeah, I think we're seeing, like you said before, urgency coming from Josh Taylor. Obviously, he's just had the knockdown against him, so he's right to.
And he has been on the front foot the entirety of the fight, so give him that. And you never know how that sways the judges.
Yeah, man, this has been a disgusting round. Nasty.
So once this is a wrestling match, but once the boxing match starts back again, I think we're in for a treat.
Only 30 seconds left.
Yeah, Catterall just landed very nice 2 shots there.
He's picking him off nicely. Well, when it's not messy.
When is that though?
Time.
Oh, here we go. Time.
Behave yourself, boys.
Oh, you fucking dickheads.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought he'd run out of warnings to give at this point.
Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Look, he almost did it again.
To be fair, like you say, he's let it go a lot. So going back to that question, would an American referee have taken off points by now?
For sure, I would say most of them.
Yeah.
The ones we've seen on televised fights, yeah, I would think
maybe there are some differences in that regard.
Or is it more because it's the A side causing a lot of this?
Well, yeah, that's valid. That's a valid question as well.
For sure. Oh my goodness, headbutt. Catterall still in that. I'm like, what the hell, ref?
We inch towards those championship rounds, getting to the 10th round. Not a championship round, FYI, for all those that like to call it a championship round.
True.
Josh Taylor's hilarious. Yo, another warning. This is insane.
Right.
I guess that was perfectly timed questioned, huh? A question by Ernest Johnson, because this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Throw what I said out the window, Ernest.
Yes, is ref different. Absolutely. Josh Taylor stalking, but Catterall, we've seen him, man. He's been doing good work off that back foot. Absolutely, Ernest. I hate that. I was the one to mention it, but I mean that's clear as day. That's what's happening. He's the one that's holding, putting him in headlocks, hitting behind the head on his back. It's him, Josh Taylor. Look, leg lock.
Why is he warning Catterall? It was Taylor that bent down.
No, push behind. No, push on the neck.
Don't bend down then. Easy. Oh, swing and a miss. There again. Oh, he's pushing down
no, you
there.
can't
Yeah.
do
He
that.
pushed
Yeah,
it down there. Come here, you naughty boy. Right, that's
hey,
it.
you get a point though.
Oh my goodness.
Second point off.
So Catterall is the first to get a point taken. Holy crap.
Now I will say, I mean, that was definitely excessive. The timing of it was horrible.
Yeah, done it twice.
I mean, he literally, I put him in a headlock. Ref came to break it and went.
Pushed his neck down. Yeah, dangerous.
A little bit of urgency there now from Jack.
Oh yeah.
Last time we saw urgency. Oh my god, bro, he's about to. The hell.
Jack's like, screw it. Just every man for himself right now. By any means.
Christ, there's been more talking than punches in this round.
Felt like he could have took another point from Jack there with that headlock you put him in. Approaching a minute left. See how this one ends with the point deduction.
So you'll score the round as usual, and then -1 from Catterall's points.
You see Taylor trying to play more into the refs to try to get another point taken. Hook. Oh, nice. Taylor definitely, like I said, a little pep in his step. You're seeing him, duck and roll under that jab a lot more. He wasn't doing that earlier in the fight. Nice low bow from Catterall. Oh, right-handed. Nice uppercut. And a good finish to the round by Josh Taylor.
Sloppy round there.
Sloppy fight, right?
Absolutely.
It's always interesting when it comes to that mouthpiece situation, Ernest, because, I mean, they say they're supposed to wait for a stop in the action. So, yeah, for it to happen right away and then to stop it, yeah, it's a bit strange. I mean, what did they tell you about that, Josh?
Well, on the amateur side, you're supposed to immediately stop it on the amateur side, but it is a little bit different in the pro ranks. I've always seen it to where they're actually, waiting for a little lull in the action. It's at the discretion of the ref. But on the amateur side, certainly once it happens, you're supposed to stop it. Just because, of course, these aren't professionals. So.
Ben Davison in the corner of Josh Taylor. Forgot about that.
Yeah, Ben Davison has a heck of a stable, or he has had a heck of a stable here for a while in terms of a lot of good fighters coming out.
Now
we're in the championship round, Alex, if you want to say so.
Yes, we are in the championship rounds, everybody.
Championship.
Made it.
Ernest, we've not covered any of Katie Taylor's fights in terms of watch-alongs, I don't think.
Oh, yeah.
But
she's had that one close fight with Amanda. Yeah. And then what was it?
Soon. That was a close fight as well.
Soon. That would be an interesting one right there.
Loving urgency from Josh Taylor, man. Loving it. Undisputed champ. This is exactly how you're supposed to be fighting in a close fight. Doesn't matter. This is your hometown. Everything's set up for you to box. Well, actually, this is a boxer show, which Josh Taylor is not affiliated with, and I don't think Josh Catterall was either.
Oh yeah, boxer.
This is their first big fight. Okay, nice.
I'm going to
nice
say it
fight.
must have been one of the very early ones. Back on the ropes.
Yeah, who was Josh Taylor signed with? I mean, I know it was a co-pro with Top Rank, obviously, but
Yeah.
Wasn't he with Barry McGuigan's for a
Hmm.
while? I'm not sure if he was back at this stage.
Yeah.
He might have gone by
breaking
at this
news. It's another hug. Wrestle. Throw him. Scoop slam him.
Well, we'll say, yeah, these are certainly tough ones for the ref. Tough one
For
for a
everybody.
ref in general.
He's earned his money tonight. That was a nice one too.
Less of that jab from Catterall here over the second half of the
Take
fight.
down. Here we go. There, ground and pound.
Is that 5? Is that 5 points? I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Is it finally gonna happen? No, he's just checking up on him. Nope, he says, wait here. Take the point.
No,
No,
just making
no,
sure they can still stand up.
Crazy, man. Like, holy shit.
I hate it when refs do that. They've just
Yeah.
fallen over and they're checking the hands. You're like,
I think they're supposed to, though. I think that's
Yeah,
what
but-
you're supposed to do when they fall down. You got to make sure that it's still wrapped properly.
Is that what it's for? Okay.
I think so.
Interesting
no,
round right
there
there.
you go. He's just taking the point off
Oh, he took the point.
at
Good.
the end of the round.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah, like I had to even things out.
So I'll just rewind. No, I won't rewind because I can't because it's not YouTube. Okay. So yeah, just in case you missed it, he took off a point there for. Oh, there.
Yeah.
He jabbed him in the stomach on the end.
At all things, though, to take a point from, you know.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
What a stupid point to get taken away, huh? How
Yeah,
dumb.
I mean, he wanted to acknowledge him or say whatever. Don't do it so hard. Just a little tap on the belly to say nice one, whatever it was.
Mhm. Here we go for all the marbles. You know, Jack, I think it would definitely been a different fight if there was more neutral ground. I think it would have been ref differently, which would have resulted in a different fight and a cleaner fight, which obviously I think everyone can see. A cleaner fight. I think Catterall on this night definitely has an easier time in the ring with what's occurring. I mean, this is disgusting. I mean, this dude's holding, he's forearming, pushing on the back of the head, punching him, any and everywhere. I mean, that's tough to deal with.
I'm not excited about the rematch anymore.
Right.
See the exchange blows there. I think Catterall ended the cleaner one there. Man, my God, tough to watch. Jesus Christ. Was there a lot of buzz for this fight? Josh Taylor's coming home fight.
Yeah, I guess so for his homecoming because obviously he was celebrated, especially for the Scottish people. But I think he was just expected to just win this, quite handily. Jack Catterall undefeated, look, a decent fighter, but he'd never really fought anyone of real note up until this point.
Yeah, that is true.
So how do I score this? Who's holding better?
Right. Yeah, it's just one of those super tough.
It can literally be one punch that wins this round. Oh, there. Oh.
That could have been it.
Winging that left.
Nice right hand. I'm not sure if it really landed cleanly, but I mean, it looked nice. You know, it looked like for sure it hit somewhere on Catterall, but tough
The
to
best
see.
thing so far. But that's better.
Man, he wants to hit him in the back of the head so bad, bro.
Mhm.
You know what? Actually, I respect boxers when they actually refrain from doing so. It annoys me. It annoys me when the opponent's clearly turned, the rest are about to call break, and they just crack them over the back of the head. It's nearly
Holy
over, Alex.
shit.
It's nearly over. It's nearly over, mate.
Whoever
It's
wins this
insane.
game win the round.
Fuck for that.
Insane that another point again taken away from Josh Taylor.
So Adam Smith, Sky Sports commentator,
This is
he's
definitely
made
going to
his
be an
decision.
interesting one.
I can't wait to see our scorecards as well.
Yeah. Right. Well, this is tracking along. I'll be back in a second.
See, Jack definitely believes he has won. Not the same feeling over there in Josh Taylor. Seems definitely the bit of concern. Not too bad we can't hear it. 113, 112, Catterall. 114, 111, Josh Taylor.
Ooh.
Still champion, undisputed champion of the world.
Interesting one. Very much an interesting one. A lot of sloppy fight, as we mentioned, just kind of so much involved in all that. Made it very interesting on the scoring end.
Did it just skip straight to the decision?
Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
113, 112 each way. And then the last one, 114, 111, Taylor for him to win by split decision. So, yeah, it was an ugly fight. Definitely interested to see how we have it as a community.
I can say that my scoring wasn't too far off from the judges.
Okay. I am just putting in my score. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll that back because could you hear the? Oh.
Oh, Boz, you're seeing robbery out there, huh?
What was your score, Boz?
Absolutely stunning.
So Josh Taylor remains undisputed at 140 pounds. Interesting there, Boz. Interesting, I will say. 115, 111.
That is wrong. Okay, let's go back here. All
Now
right.
for the unveiling.
here's our scores then. All right. Boz has it 115, 111, as he's just put in the chat. Thank you, Boz, for taking part as usual. I have it 114, 112. And 86 Boxing Josh has it 113 to 112, and so does Alex as well. So you two have it very close. But again, all of us are in favour of Jack Catterall.
Maybe Alex, you were like me, and did the unthinkable. Even had an even round there in the round that Taylor was deducted that point. I made it a 9-9.
Yeah, that's what I had it as well.
So crazy.
So let's get it on to, or just quickly compare your two, because you had a difference in round 5, and then you're all on board here up until round 8. So round 9, you scored that one differently as well. And then you look like you are the same then. So you have 10 rounds the same, 2 different. What will be interesting actually now is our combined scorecard, and this will include some where some of our other group members have scored this fight, I think, at the time. So what is actually quite interesting is to see where the judges were unanimous, and then us as fans as well matched the judges. So in the case of round 1, the judges all scored it for Catterall, and that's what the fans averaged it as well. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yep.
Okay, so round 2, it's an even round basically for us collaboratively. Judges were unanimous for Taylor. Round 3, Taylor, everyone's matching, green and green. Taylor round 4 was a Catterall round for the fight night scores. Same for the if you click it, you can see each official's score for the round as well. Oh, I forgot about that.
Howard Johnson and Ian John Lewis, very much or Howard Foster, Ian John Lewis, familiar with them for sure.
Yeah, Ian John Lewis giving it to the home side. What a surprise. Yep, so round 5, all in favour. Greens there. So round for Catterall. Again, round 6, everyone's agreed. Catterall round. Then round 7, a Catterall round. Again, fans and judges all aligned. And then we've got the 10-8 for Catterall in round 8. 10-10 even round as seen by us, the fans, in round 9. And the judges gave that one to Taylor. And then round 10, all matching. That's the 10-8 round. A 10-8 round for Taylor. Is that the one where it was deducted the point and then Catterall?
Yeah. They did that or knocked down.
And then Catterall in round 10. So that's a 10-9 round. The judges were unanimous. Average is 9-9. Was that the point deduction round then?
Yeah, what did the judges have?
9-9, 9-9,
Okay.
9-9.
So
but it's rounded up for us. So that might be just a glitch in the system, but everyone should have had a 9-9. Oh, I guess some people might have scored it 10-8.
Wow, you scored that for Catterall?
Yeah, 10-8 possibly.
That's the difference.
Yeah. And then round 12, Taylor. A Taylor round. The judges were split in that one. Ian John Lewis, Victor Lachlan gave it to Taylor, and Foster gave it to Catterall. So yeah, that's quite interesting. When we've got the actual judges' scores there as well, it's quite interesting to see how it matches up against the fans' average. And obviously, the average for the judges is just because there's 3, so there's usually it's a 10-9, 10-9, and a 9-10 essentially. Majority wins. And I always wondered, is that maybe a good way to score fights instead of having a collective? Each judges just take the 2 judges favour over the one, and that's the round winner, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that's an interesting way of going about it for sure. Oh, some validity.
Anyway, as our group, then our scoring group, this is crazy. We've got 6 rounds to 4 and 2 rounds even. But the winning margin percentages actually probably tell the story, don't they? You know, it was very close, probably marginally in favour of Jack Catterall. So again, I think the kind of winning margin metric is a pretty good indicator as well of how a fight has gone overall. And then the judging analysis is there underneath as well. So this is quite interesting. The judges were unanimous in 10 of the 2 rounds. And we matched their scoring matched the fans in 9 of 3 rounds. So yeah, I think when I did the video previously, it was a bit closer than this. So I think our scores that we've just created have skewed this a little bit more in favour of Jack Catterall. But yeah, it was kind of interesting how this was seen to be such a big robbery. We've just looked at our scorecards and we've got the same scores but through different rounds. And you know, the judges are pretty unanimous as well throughout the fight. So it just goes to show that you can actually probably score a lot of these rounds to one or the other, and it would be quite a close fight. But it's seen as a robbery. I don't know what to make of it. What does everyone else thinking? Give us your thoughts in the chat. I think Boz has said it was a robbery.
He said it was. I'd say not a robbery. Nah.
Says robbery clear as day.
I do feel that Taylor won, or I do feel that Catterall won, but don't know if it was a flat out robbery, but certainly some officiating questions to be asked.
Yeah, because like you said, we spoke about the warnings, but I felt like the warnings to Catterall before the point deduction was, I don't know about unwarranted, but it's like, come on, he's not really initiating. Most of it's retaliation. So how do you? And his retaliations weren't that big of a deal until what he did, in what was that, round 9 after the knockdown. Yeah. I mean, because it is frustrating, but you have, he's a human, and yeah, he shouldn't be doing it at all. But like Josh Taylor was the cause of this. He was the one creating this issue. So take a point from both. But he did do that excessively. And Taylor did get a point deducted for something a little bit silly at the end of a round as well. So you can kind of see that as evening each other out. But yeah, officiating was it was quite nasty that night, and it affected the fight. And so when people say it's a robbery, I can understand, but I won't say it was. But I don't think I think if people say it's a robbery, I'm not going to tell you, no, how dare you say that? It was a nasty fight.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. So like I said, obviously the rematch has to happen because it was so close and so controversial. But hopefully it's going to be a better fight than that, the rematch, because it wasn't the best to watch, was it?
Is this going down at a different site, the rematch? Do you know?
It's in Manchester,
Liverpool, right? Oh, Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's at the arena.
All right.
The new arena, right?
Is it in the new arena?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it could be.
Manchester City, baby.
Anyway, let's move things along. That was it wasn't a great fight, but it was still interesting to watch, run it back and see just how controversial it was or wasn't, and it was fairly controversial, but also probably wasn't such a huge robbery that it is actually made out to be. Ernest has got some more questions here, I think. Do you want to take on this one, Josh? You give some thoughts and opinions, and I'll get us up some box rec to discuss.
Well, on the amateur side, we have 5 judges. I think that's a good option right there as well. You take the 5 judges, and then kind of what you alluded to there, if you get to a point where it's a tiebreaker, then it's where the majority rules in some sense. So I think that having a monitor there, that could be interesting. But that being said, I think that you can see what is happening. I do like the view from the different judges. I don't know how much of a difference the monitor would make from an overall standpoint, unless you're going to offer that time for a judge or whatever to review, certain parts of the fight. And I think that alters the minute rest in between. So I don't think the monitor idea will work as well. But that being said, I think a solution is 5 judges, and in some sense, you can go with the majority rules, and take it from there. That's what I think would be an ideal, or at least having some scoring system where we can see what these judges are doing, sort of like fight night scores, see what they're choosing, selecting, and writing down. And then from there, if they aren't meeting a certain par, then sit them down. Sit them down. That's the way it is on the amateur side. There's a scoring system. You need to be in that 85 and up percentile to be utilized on a regular basis in some of the bigger fights. And if you're not there, it might even be 90% and up. If you're not there, hey, you're not getting the big fights. I think that would solve things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the purpose of the system that I've created is to kind of try and make things a bit more transparent. It was basically a snapshot into what a judge could be seeing at the time. The score, not just giving a 10-9 or 10-8 round. It makes them think about how close the round was, and they've got to put that slider in place. They've got to think of an actual reason why the round was given as it was from a selected amount of valid reasons why rounds can be won. And you'd think that it'd make them think a little bit more about it than just going, I'll give it to the home fighter 10-9 because no one else will question it.
Yeah.
But there you go. Let's move things along. We've just got this one upcoming event that we're going to cover until we finish this stream. It is the big upcoming heavyweight fight. Well, I think the event's bigger rather than the actual main event fight, but Saudi Arabia putting on another big event. Lots of names and good fights on this one. We'll start not at the top of this page, but at the top of the card. It's Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou after his recent loss to Tyson Fury. I can see Alex is raring to put some thoughts into this one. What do you make of it, Alex?
Man, I referred to a little bit earlier, man. We like shows, right? We like Broadway shows. We like, circus shows. We like the unknown too. What is it there to expect? When they made Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou, I thought for sure Tyson Fury, our great heavyweight of this time, would dominate Ngannou. I thought it was laughable to make this matchup. I thought it was ridiculous that we were getting it, especially him being a WBC champion, the ring champion, for a time until he decided to get rid of his belt for whatever reason. And also the prospect of seeing undisputed at heavyweight, something we haven't seen in decades. I think it was Lennox Lewis was the last undisputed champion.
Yeah.
And then, it's a money grab. They say, hey, man, it's a business. Well, that business almost backfired on Tyson Fury because Francis Ngannou, for him being an 0-0 fighter, looked pretty goddamn good in that ring. Probably the best 0-0 fighter we've ever seen that we can recall. I mean, he dropped Tyson Fury, seemed to have enough skills to hang with him and not get dominated, which he did not get dominated. He loses the decision. Some people believe that he might have deserved to win it. To be honest, it wasn't a fight that I paid too much attention to. But yeah, when he knocked him down, it definitely caught my eye. So we have another spectacle, the return of Anthony Joshua, man. How I've liked the ride that he's been on as of late, has been, with different trainers since his loss to Usyk, has now set it on Ben Davison. Don't you just hate that with BoxRec?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man, has been on a crazy roller coaster. Like I said, took back-to-back losses to Usyk, went to Derrick James, now with Ben Davison. Seems to really click with Ben Davison. That performance against Otto Wallin was it was terrific. It was great to watch. Very satisfied what I seen with him. And now he said it's my turn to go to the circus, to the spectacle. Saudi Arabia has been giving us some pretty good cards. This one I think is it's an interesting build. Obviously the main event is a bit strange as well. Unsure what to expect. I underestimated Ngannou before. I'm gonna do it again, man. I got Anthony Joshua. Definitely getting the win. Can he stop Ngannou? I mean, I've seen this dude take a straight elbow from Tyson Fury and just stay in the pocket. So it's tough to say. But yeah, AJ for the win. Do it for boxing. Don't play with your food. Keep there. Show him why there's a difference between boxing and MMA, and that you can't just walk up in here and do as you please. AJ, please, 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 please get this win.
Go on, Jeff. Share your thoughts on that one as well.
Certainly, ditto what Alex has said there, but I have Joshua picking up a stoppage, doing the unthinkable. We'll see if it happens, but that's what I'm going with, because I think Joshua is not going to take this light, and I think he's going to come to cook, as Ernest mentioned there. And if he has the aggression he had against Otto Wallin, then yeah, he should be able to stop Ngannou, who's fighting in his second professional boxing match. So everything else, it is what it is. It's one of the big shows. I like the promo they've done. They have a little video game you can play, almost kind of like Street Fighter-ish Punch-Out-esque out there.
Yeah,
online.
I've seen that.
They did this for the promo. It's pretty cool. So I like what it does from that aspect of boxing in terms of brings out the creativity in the promo world.
Yeah, I was very impressed. I mean, I'm not a bit one for like all of the hype and stuff before fights. I just want to watch the fights as they're on. I'm not bothered about the press conferences and all that shit. But I saw that trailer like video. It's like a fucking movie, isn't it? where the cartoons and the going all over the place. Yeah, it was very impressive, to be fair. And they've knocked together a video game out of it as well. Let's move on. Let's stay with heavyweights, because this is a very intriguing fight. Zhang Zhang against Joseph Parker off the back of his great win over Deontay Wilder, and Zhang obviously got his 2 wins over Joyce. So very interesting fight. Josh, we'll come to you first on this one. What are your thoughts?
The curious case of Zhang Zhilei. He's made his arrival here, and people have his name thrown out there in title contention, of course. This is an interim fight for the WBO title. We know who we want to see any of these guys fighting for a title, quote unquote, go against. And that's, of course, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. But in the case of Zhang, I'd also like to see him in there against Anthony Joshua. But for now, we have him against Joseph Parker, who I've always liked. Joseph Parker is one of those guys. He shows up, he fights, he gives you an effort. Sometimes, or some fights, not necessarily probably the best of him, but I've liked the work that has gone down with his transformation under Andy Lee, with him leaning more offensively. Zhang Zhilei did the unthinkable, stopped the juggernaut Joe Joyce, a guy who we hadn't seen really have a dent put in him in any way, and it was just a matter of, okay, Joyce, he can take this punishment. Will he come on later? But Zhang Zhilei said no, and just stopped him with sharpness and power. And especially that second fight, man, it's something beautiful the way he set that up. I mean, he just sent Joyce back to the line in a sense, and his title hopes are now pretty much thwarted. But this should be an interesting fight. Might be one of the better fights there on the card. I am leaning slightly Zhang Zhilei, because I think that he could eventually wear on him. He'll have the overall size on Joseph Parker, especially when it comes to weight. And I think that could play into the fight and be a factor there in the latter portions of the round. But I wouldn't be shocked if Parker gets off to an early lead. And I just think it's a good fight, a good heavyweight contest. Some people thought Parker was down and out after that loss to Joyce, but he's shown that he has resolve. He's still here. If you really look at it, he's been a top 10 contender here for a good number of years, and I think that speaks to just how good he is. But certainly a fight that I'm looking forward to, and for the winner, hey, I don't know who's next. Could be Joshua. Could be a reason that they're on this particular card, and I guess they're going to be the co-main event. That could be a reason, but we'll see for sure. Now, I will say that first Joshua Parker fight wasn't necessarily anything to write home about, but I would think it operates a little differently if they were to fight again. But certainly, the fight that I would like to see, besides from Zhang Zhilei versus Hergovich in a rematch, is Joshua versus Zhang in China. I think that would be monumental for boxing in a way that we haven't seen in a long period of time, or I guess more so like we're getting some of that groundbreaking kind of numbers or whatever right now here in Saudi Arabia. But just imagine a heavyweight fight in China. I just want to see what the actual viewership would be, and then even what the attendance would be. So I'd be looking forward to something like that.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool. It's like the snooker over here in the UK. It's a predominantly UK sport, but it's massive in China, and they get like dozens of millions of views when the Chinese snooker players, and that's like the population of the UK. Fucking insane.
Yeah, and Ernest says, imagine the judging in China.
Yeah, well, it'll be just as biased as everywhere else, especially the UK. Come on. Yeah, no, some good points there. Interesting, like you say, maybe it is the setup is that Joshua wins this as he's supposed to, and the winner of that then gets the next shot against AJ. Maybe that's what the intention is here. We'll go on to Ray Vargas versus Nick Ball, because this is another really interesting and intriguing fight. Actually, Alex, I've not come on to you about Zhang and Parker. Go, sorry, mate. Give us your thoughts on that one, and then you can jump straight into Vargas and Ball as well.
I love that Josh wants to see and is anticipating Joshua KO of Ngannou. That'll be great. Yeah, it's an interesting matchup when it comes to Zhilei Zhang versus Joseph Parker. I definitely thought Zhang was gonna. I thought him versus Joshua was probably the best fight to make, since we're having undisputed allegedly happening with Tyson Fury versus Usyk. I thought it was a natural fight. I mean, just beat a juggernaut, literally, right? And Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua. I love the confidence that's coming out of him. I mean, the way he's speaking, like, they're saying the old AJ's back. He was like, like this, like, I don't care about none of that. Get me in the ring, and I'm in there to fight, to win. I'm really loving his attitude. And so, you got to give credit to another fighter that has, quote unquote, reinvented themselves. Joseph Parker, got beat down by Joe Joyce. I mean, that was it was pretty bad, how that fight just progressed and ended. Since then, stayed active, progressed, through the year, took on, domestic scrap, had a fight over there in Saudi. There was another fight or two, I believe, in between or before. And then, we had, the Deontay Wilder fight. I thought Wilder was going to spark him out. I thought Joseph Parker, no matter how much success he was going to have, it was going to end with, bomb squad. Never happened. Joseph Parker had a great game plan. Like you said, shout out to Andy Lee, has been shown he's one of the best trainers in the world with the work he's been doing. And now we're getting Zhilei Zhang versus Joseph Parker. I thought Parker was going to beat Joyce in that fight before. And I'll be wrong again, man. I'm going to pick the more youthful fighter, the fighter that I think is, just showing he could, handle different styles. I think he's going to correct. Listen, there's a big difference between Zhilei Zhang and Joe Joyce. Obviously, they're about the same size. Zhang is heavier. Zhang is lefty, but he's not going to be seeing that volume that gave him trouble with Joyce. Zhang is a little more methodical. He wants to land that big left hand. And we just saw Parker disarm Deontay Wilder. I think it's going to be definitely a different fight with Zhang because of that righty versus lefty. But I got Joe Parker for the win decision. But definitely, I'm with Ernest Johnson. Definitely could see Zhang knocking him out. He has the power, Big Bang Zhang. And I love the prospect you guys are talking about. A fight in China. I think they did like 15 million views for the first fight with Joyce or something like that, something crazy. It's definitely a market that I think can help give us big fights as well.
Yeah, I think it's probably a more lucrative market and realistically gaining more exposure market than a Jake Paul market, for instance. And all of these other influencers that are really interested in the actual person and not the sport. But, that's just my take. So, sorry, Alex, just to be clear, because I want some fucking predictions on this. You're predicting a Parker win.
Decision, baby. Let's go.
Decision.
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right. I know that in the back of your mind, you're always thinking about that Jerry Forrest fight, aren't you?
Oh man, I was there live. Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Oh,
I
cool.
think for sure that Zane can win this. It's not.
Oh yeah,
man.
of course.
I want to pick Parker decision. I've been a guy that I love Parker's style. I enjoy watching it.
Yeah. Well, I got to give a prediction as well because I'm making you two do it. So I'm going to go with a Joshua stoppage. Fuck it, Joshua stoppage. And I'm going to go with a Zhang stoppage as well. I think he's going to be able to just be too big and too much for Parker. Yeah, let's come on to that next fight then. Ray Vargas and Nick Ball. Alex, you can go first on this one.
Yeah, man. Ray Vargas. I remember there was, he was supposed to be like mandatory challenger for Gary Russell for a while. Had like health issues. I think he had like a broken leg. Came back, had a nice little fight with Baez. Then he had that fight with oh my gosh, it's Mark Mateo. Yeah, man, that was a fun fight.
Yeah,
fun fight, close fight. Ray Vargas, man, I really, he's a guy that can box, but he also likes to mix it up. You don't really see that kind of style from Mexico. People always talk about the Mexican style. Ray Vargas has a little bit of it, but he can, he can box, he can move around, he can work off the jab. Attempted, shout out Canelo, attempted to be great, moved up in weight, fought for vacant, I believe, against Oshaki. Oshaki was just too fast, too good. And now he's in another tough fight, man. Little Nick Ball, man. He fights like a wrecking ball.
Wrecking ball, yeah.
He's definitely a small guy. Definitely is always, going against someone that's taller, longer reach, and yet has been punching through shit. I mean, this dude here, literally, he's coming in to beat you up, and you're thinking, how's he going to close the distance? He closes that distance, and he comes with mean intentions. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Ray Vargas needs to box his way to victory. Otherwise, I don't know if he can take the shots from Nick Ball. Nick Ball has beaten up, Isaac Lowe isn't the greatest name. No, there's someone else I remember. It wasn't just the Dog Bay. Who was it? I guess maybe I got him mixed up. The Dog Bay fight. Two little guys went at it. The Lamati fight. I thought that dude Lamati from South Africa. I thought he had a good enough jab to keep Nick Ball, but obviously the strength was too much. Actually put him in a coma. But
and that was it took him to the last round to get that one there.
I want to say Ray Vargas, but I think this is probably a Nick Ball win. I don't know if he stops him, but it might be something to where we see Ray Vargas, getting beat up a little bit. But tough fight to call because I just don't know how Ray Vargas is gonna fight. But Nick Ball decision.
Okay. Nice. Josh, your thoughts?
Yeah, very interesting there when you made that pick there, Alex. Yeah, it's 50-50 in some sense. Man, tough one to call. I have been impressed by Nick Ball. I first became aware of him when he stopped Isaac Lowe. He went to enemy territory to do so as well. Tyson Fury was there on the side of Isaac Lowe. They're out there on the ring. Maybe John Fury was out there as well. But Nick Ball went in there, did his thing, and you're right. It's just like he's a fireball, small package, but man, he can put in some work, and he has some power. So that should be interesting. The size difference will be pretty much glaring. If Ray Vargas chooses to fight on the outside, which he's shown that he can at points, but as Alex mentioned, he always finds himself somehow in a dogfight when it's all said and done in some instances. But Nick Ball might just be the guy that kind of lures him in to want to make it a scrappy contest. Yeah, hard one to pick, to be honest with you. Very hard one to pick. I could see both fighters winning. Yeah, I don't want to take a cop out and say draw or something, but man, this is just going to be a tough one. I'm going to go draw.
Oh, wow.
Because it's just so tough right here to think about who is going to come out on top. You could call that an even round in a sense.
On the fence, proper on the fence. You know what? I bet that if we look at the odds on the draw, I bet it won't be, well, it'll be high, obviously, but it won't be as high as most fights because it probably has got potential to be very close on the draw. I'm going to go with Ball, sorry. And yeah, just because I think it's his time. You know, he's probably going to be the A side, possibly, I think. And yeah, I think I can see him winning. I think he's only recently started actually fully concentrated on the boxing, because I think up until a couple of fights ago, they were saying that he's been around, but he's not been featured on TV and stuff much up until his last couple of fights, from what I recall. But I think he's got a bit of hype around him in the more recent times, with his, he's like a little mini Mike Tyson, especially recently. So yeah, it's an interesting couple of fights there. Anyway, the rest of the card we won't cover. We'll bring that to an end now, because it's quite a stacked card. Lots of probably up and coming names, and we'll discuss them in future if it calls for it. Josh, are you on for your podcast over on the 86?
Yeah, we're going to go in there, talk about a little bit of boxing, the stuff from the prior week, because we missed last week. Keep it short and sweet, drop by if you can. We'll chop it up.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So make sure that you head over to 86 Boxing. That's Josh's YouTube channel. He covers boxing history, and he has a weekly podcast with Boss, who's also made an appearance here every week on the scoring. Thank you, everyone that has turned up. As usual, we're going to be back again in a couple of weeks' time. Alex, have you got some research to do? Have you got a few fights laid out, ready for next one? You don't have to give it away, but what's coming up?
Yeah, no, definitely got to take a look. Definitely hoping something entertaining, exciting.
Yeah. Yvonne Durrell, Archie Moore, that's one we've discussed. Maybe one day that's going to pop up there. You never know. Sure. You never know.
You never know what's going to crop up, what fight we're going to cover. So make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out. The other thing I will ask, if you have been scoring this fight, if you can leave a comment in the comments and let us know your actual scorecard scores, I think that'll help as well. I would really appreciate that, and that would be great. So we'll call that a wrap, boys. Thank you to everyone that stopped by, taking part in the chat. Hopefully you can drop by in our future live streams. You can join us in our scoring group as well, and make sure that you use Fight Night Scores for all of the fights that you watch and your scoring. Okay, Alex, thank you very much for being here as usual. Josh, same to you. I'm going to hop over onto 86 Boxing after we finish this, and I'll be talking and giving Buzz some shit, because he gives us some shit on here. All right, boys, and thank you, everybody. Take care.
Pleasure.
Cheers.